Welcome, dear seekers, to the beginning of one of humanity's most profound spiritual dialogues, the Bhagavad Gita. Before we enter the sacred verses of chapter 1, let us set the scene, for this is no ordinary conversation. We stand at Kurukshetra, a vast battlefield in ancient India, where two mighty armies face each other at dawn. The air is thick with tension, conch shells are about to sound. Elephants stamp the earth, warriors grip their weapons, and in this charged atmosphere, something extraordinary is about to unfold. But to truly understand what is happening here, we need to go back to the roots of this conflict, back to the family whose fracture has brought an entire civilization to the edge of destruction. The story behind the war. The Bhagavad Gita is not a standalone text. It is embedded within the Mahabharata, the longest epic poem ever composed, over 100,000 verses long, attributed to the sage Vyasa. The Mahabharata is the story of the Kuru dynasty, and at its heart is a bitter feud between two sets of cousins. On one side are the Pandavas, 5 brothers born of King Pandu. Yudhishthira, the eldest, embodies dharma and truth. Bhima, the second, possesses the strength of 1,000 elephants. Arjuna, the third, is the supreme archer, unmatched in skill and focus. And the twins Nakula and Sahadeva each carry their own quiet brilliance. These 5 brothers share a bond forged in exile, hardship, and unwavering loyalty to one another. On the other side are the Kauravas, 100 brothers, sons of the blind king Dhritarashtra. Their leader is Duryodhana, whose very name carries the echo of difficulty, Duryodhana, one who is hard to fight, hard to defeat, and harder still to reason with. Duryodhana's jealousy of the Pandavas is not a passing emotion. It is a consuming fire. He has tried to poison Bhima as a child. He has built a palace of lac and set it ablaze to burn the Pandavas alive. He has rigged a game of dice to strip them of their kingdom, their dignity, and their freedom. He has publicly humiliated Draupadi, the wife of the Pandavas, dragging her into a court full of men and attempting to disrobe her. Every door to peace has been opened and slammed shut. Krishna himself went as a peace ambassador to the Kaurava court, asking for just 5 villages, one for each Pandava brother. Duryodhana's response? I will not give them land enough to place the tip of a needle upon. And so, war became not a choice, but an inevitability, a last resort after every path of reconciliation had been exhausted. This context matters deeply. The Gita does not glorify war. It arises from a situation where every peaceful alternative has been tried and rejected. It speaks to those moments in life when, despite our best efforts, we are placed in circumstances that demand difficult, even painful action. The sacred setting. Now, we arrive at Kurukshetra. The name itself is significant. Kurukshetra means the field of the Kurus, the ancestral land of this dynasty. But the very first verse of the Gita adds another layer. Dhritarashtra calls it Dharmakshetra, the field of dharma, the field of righteousness. Even the blind king, who has enabled his sons' injustices at every turn, senses that this is no ordinary battleground. This is a place where cosmic justice will unfold. And here, between these two armies, sits the great warrior Arjuna in his magnificent chariot. But he is not alone. His charioteer is none other than Sri Krishna, his beloved friend, his cousin, and though Arjuna does not yet fully realize it, the Supreme Lord himself in human form. Krishna has chosen not to fight in this war. Instead, he has offered himself as Arjuna's Sarathi, his charioteer, his guide through what is to come. Think about that for a moment. The divine does not impose himself as commander. He does not seize the reins of Arjuna's life. He takes the humble seat of the charioteer, the one who drives, who navigates, who serves. This image alone carries a teaching. God does not overpower our free will. He positions himself as our guide, waiting to be asked. Arjuna, Vishada Yoga, the Yoga of Despair. Chapter 1 is called Arjuna Vishada Yoga, and this title itself holds a beautiful paradox. Vishada means grief, despair, or deep sorrow. Yet it is called a yoga, a path of union with the divine. How can despair be a spiritual path? This is the first teaching the Gita offers us, even before Krishna speaks a single word of instruction. Sometimes our deepest crises become our greatest doorways to awakening. As this chapter opens, the blind king Dhritarashtra sits in his palace, unable to see the battlefield but desperate to know what is happening. He asks his minister Sanjaya, who has been blessed with divine vision by the sage Vyasa, to narrate the events. Notice the symbolism here. A blind king who has always refused to see the truth now depends on another's sight. Dhritarashtra's physical blindness mirrors his moral blindness, his lifelong inability to stand up against his own son's wickedness. The chapter opens with Duryodhana himself approaching his teacher Drona, listing the warriors on each side, trying to project confidence. But scholars have noted the anxiety beneath his bravado. He counts, he compares, he reassures himself. This is the behavior of a man who knows, deep down, that he stands on the wrong side of dharma. Then the great conch shells are blown. Krishna blows the Panchajanya, Arjuna blows the Devadatta, Bhima blows the mighty Poundra. Each conch has a name, a history, a significance. The sound shakes the earth and sky, and it tears the hearts of Dhritarashtra's sons, an omen of what is to come. The collapse of the warrior. And then comes the turning point. Arjuna, the peerless archer, the hero who has never known defeat, asks Krishna to drive their chariot between the two armies. He wants to see who has assembled to fight, and what he sees shatters him. On both sides stand his relatives, his teachers, his childhood friends. There is Bhishma, the grandsire who held young Arjuna on his lap and told him stories of heroes and gods. There is Drona, the master who taught him everything he knows about warfare. There are cousins, uncles, nephews, an entire family tree arrayed for mutual destruction. And in this moment, something breaks within Arjuna. His legendary bow, the Gandiv, slips from his hands. His body trembles, his skin burns, his mouth goes dry, his mind reels. The text describes these symptoms with clinical precision. Gandivam shramsate hastat, tvakchaiva paridahyate. The Gandiv slips from his hand, his skin is on fire. These are not poetic exaggerations. These are the physical symptoms of acute grief and moral crisis. The greatest warrior of his age is suddenly unable to stand, let alone fight. He is overwhelmed by what the text calls karunyam, compassion mixed with grief, love entangled with horror. And it is this compassion, however confused, that makes Arjuna worthy of receiving divine teaching. A man without feeling, a man who could march over the bodies of his loved ones without flinching, that man would have nothing to learn. It is precisely because Arjuna feels so deeply that he is ready for what Krishna is about to offer. the questions that echo through time. Arjun voices the questions that have haunted humanity across all ages and cultures. What is the meaning of victory if it costs us everything we love? What good is a kingdom built on the bones of our own family? Is any cause worth such devastation? He speaks of Kurukshetra, the destruction of the family. He is reasoning, he is citing scriptures, he is building a case for inaction. And this is important for us to recognize because it tells us something we often overlook. The mind in crisis does not stop thinking. It thinks furiously. It builds elaborate justifications. It wraps fear in the language of wisdom. Some of Arjuna's arguments are genuinely valid concerns. Others are fear wearing the mask of philosophy. And part of what Krishna will do in the chapters ahead is lovingly, patiently separate the genuine insight from the self-deception. He sees no path forward that does not lead through rivers of blood. And so, he declares that he will not fight. He would rather lay down his weapons and let his enemies kill him unarmed than participate in this destruction. Why this chapter matters for us. Now here is what makes this chapter so essential for us today. Arjuna's crisis is not merely about war. It is about every moment when we stand paralyzed between duty and desire, between what we must do and what we wish we could avoid. Who among us has not stood at our own Kurukshetra? Perhaps it was a career decision that meant leaving behind people we loved. Perhaps it was speaking a difficult truth that we knew would cause pain. In Arjuna's paralysis, we see our own moments of crisis reflected back to us. And this is precisely why the Gita begins here. Not with triumph, but with breakdown. Not with answers, but with questions. The spiritual journey does not begin when we have everything figured out. It begins when we realize that we don't. It begins when our old frameworks collapse and we are forced to seek something deeper. Arjuna's Vishada, his despair, is what makes him ready to truly listen. His crisis is his qualification. His breakdown is his breakthrough waiting to happen. What lies ahead? As we move through these 47 verses, listen not just with your intellect, but with your heart. Feel the weight of Arjuna's dilemma. Notice where his pain resonates with your own experience. Krishna, for now, remains silent. He listens, he witnesses, he holds space for his beloved friend's anguish. There is a profound lesson even in this silence. Sometimes, the most loving thing we can do for someone in crisis is not to rush in with answers, but simply to be present. Krishna does not interrupt. He lets Arjuna arrive fully at his question, because only a question that is fully felt can receive an answer that truly transforms. The teaching will come, 18 chapters of the most sublime wisdom ever spoken. From the immortality of the soul to the secret of selfless service. All of it begins here, in this moment of shattering vulnerability. So let us now enter the sacred verses of Arjuna Vishada Yoga and walk alongside Arjuna as he faces the most important moment of his life, knowing that in his journey, we may find the map for our own. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.